you're kind of concerned about getting lines and wrinkles, I wouldn't really consider going to Botox to stop them from happening. What I would do is really understand and learn a good skincare regimen for yourself. And the first thing you're going to need to know about that is you're going to need to understand your skin type, and you're going to need to know the right products for your skin. Hey gorgeous gals, welcome back to Contour Image, where I help you build confidence through your image. My name is Sharon Ports. I'm a California licensed esthetician, and we're going to do another Reddit questionnaire over skincare. So here's someone who has an issue with their skin, so let's just get going right into it. So she says, I'm 23 years old with wrinkles becoming more prominent. As you can see, I feel as if I have more wrinkles than I should at 23. What should I add to my routine? I try to keep it simple since I was on Accutane around 4 months ago. Let's see, Bioderma and Antoderm cleansing oil, La Roche-Posay, Tolerine Double Repair Face Moisturizer, La Roche-Posay, Tonellier Eye Cream. I'm currently in medical school, so I imagine the stress adds to my forehead wrinkles. I would love to get Botox, but I'm broke until I graduate. Please, any tips would be appreciated. So obviously she didn't want to give too much information on herself, which is fine. So there's a few things that I see, and she mentioned she was going through medical school, which adds to stress, and I would 100% agree. When I first saw this, I thought it looks like she's going through a lot of stress, especially when she's only 23. She's just starting her life, really. And right now, stress can lead to lines and wrinkles, and for some, it's in the forehead area, like as you can see here in our picture here. I don't see much more about her skin, but obviously her biggest concern is the lines on her head. She probably has other areas too, maybe somewhere around her face, but it's mostly in her forehead. Now she mentioned she wants to start using Botox, and if you've ever seen another video that I believe I put out earlier, Botox is not always going to be your best option. The reason why is what'll happen is Botox will stop these wrinkles from consistently happening, but it's not going to stop these from being who they are right now. The fillers will actually fill in those lines so that it'll look like they're not there anymore. Few problems with it, and the biggest one is that you're going to start on a specific amount of units to fill and to, if you will, paralyze, because that's what you're doing with Botox, these areas so that they don't continue making those marks, and to fill those in. The other part to it is over time, your skin gets used to it. So you have to start using more and more and more units, which it gets more and more expensive. So if this girl wants to start her entire life on Botox, I almost want to say good luck, because when she gets older, what's going to happen? You know, there's going to be a time where I think there's going to be a max you can't use anymore, and eventually your skin will not be able to work with it. The other downside of it is they have finally come out with the long-term side effects, and there might even be more than the ones that they found now. And I knew one day they were going to find the problem with constantly injecting your skin over and over and over again with things. The problem is that they've noticed that your face is full of different kinds of muscles. And while we do have muscles that do create these expressions and kind of start, if you will, cracking the skin to a point where they start forming these lines, what it does is it still kind of helps flex the muscles a little bit to some extent. If you stop your body and you paralyze those muscles, because that's what Botox does, is it paralyzes the muscles. It's actually I believe it's a bacteria that goes into your skin that paralyzes the muscle. And when you stop paralyzing the muscle, they become worse over time. So if you've ever noticed an older person who, let's say they don't exercise, or they haven't exercised forever, they're older, they ache, whatever, they start losing the muscle mass that they have. And that's another thing about aging, is it's very common for people who are older to start losing muscle mass. And that's because they're no longer working those muscles out, you know? And so then the muscle starts to just degenerate basically, and it just becomes nothing. And it may actually kind of look like fat a little bit. And then what happens is the body tries to fill the body up to compensate it with fat. So, but you'll notice even the really skinny old people, like super skinny, there's no muscle. They're like all skin and bone because they don't flex those muscles. They don't do that anymore. So what happens to your face is it's going to start to degenerate, and the muscles in the face start to like wilt and go down. And it's like the thing you were trying to prevent has just caught up even further. And it's probably worse than if you just had some lines and wrinkles. The other part to it is if you use even fillers to fill in the lines so that the lines that are there are gone, what happens is over time, again, another 20 plus years or so, you'll start getting what's called pillow face, which is where the body has not fully 100% over the years and years and years of putting filler in, it did not take in the filler back like it's supposed to. That's why you have to kind of keep injecting it over so many months or so. It kind of stayed there. And what happens is you start getting kind of squishy, and it's not a natural looking look. You know, they're like, what is this? I want to get rid of this. And the doctor's like, oh my gosh, it's some of the filler that just never transferred back into the system like it's supposed to. So they're actually calling it pillow face now, which is not a good idea. So really, you know, first to prevent these things from happening, if you don't have them yet and you're kind of concerned about getting lines and wrinkles, I wouldn't really consider going to Botox to stop them from happening. What I would do is really understand and learn a good skincare regimen for yourself. And the first thing you're going to need to know about that is you're going to need to understand your skin type, and you're going to need to know the right products for your skin. Any conditions you might have, you may want to address, such as lines and wrinkles. If you do, we will talk about that later. But for now, that's really what you need to do. I do have a skin type quiz that I will put in the description down below for you, where you can take and get to learn more about your skin type. If you take the questionnaire very well, it will tell you exactly what your skin type is, and it will tell you exactly what products to look for, to use, and the ingredients to kind of look for in those products. It'll also give you a recommendation of products in which order to use them and to get you onto a good skincare regimen and when to use those. That will help slow down and prevent a lot of the aging process if you do it properly. One of the biggest things you'll also want to look for is sunscreen. And sunscreen, the sun is 90%, or I think it's 90 or 95% what causes the aging process. So wearing sunscreen and, you know, staying more in the shade, keep sun visors and hats and stuff on yourself when you're out in the sun is highly recommended, because that will really prevent a lot of the aging process. And if you do this before you see these problems, you can really look years younger as you get older. Like, people will not believe your age. So that will be good. Now, if you've already had problems like this young woman is noticing her lines and her wrinkles and things that are going on, I would definitely hydrate the skin. For one, exfoliate it. Exfoliation is a big one. Proper exfoliation is a process that will help reduce and reverse the signs of aging. Usually those are in the forms of peels. I would definitely say you'd have to see someone like an esthetician, and then maybe even a dermatologist that could do some on you later as your skin progresses and gets better with the peels. But really, that would be a good one. And then also hydrating the skin. I can tell her skin is very dehydrated. It's almost, I can almost see it kind of shrunk a little bit. I'm not talking about her forehead, like the way it looks in the picture so much. It's the skin itself looks shrunk. And I would say we need to hydrate the skin as well. So I will put more links of books and reports that I have written for your knowledge that I will put in the descriptions down below, as well with that skin type quiz. That would be great for you if you were to take that. So my information that I give will help to answer a lot of your questions as to how to reduce aging, how can I reverse aging, and what you can do about it, and how to get on a good skincare regimen to take care of your skin and get on the right track. All right, so thank you so much again for visiting me here at Contour Image, and remember to stay beautiful for life.